See, these women are being told they're too aggressive. When they advocate for themselves. So basically what you're telling these women these days in the corporate world, they shouldn't speak up for themselves. That's funny to me, man. They're being told they can't advocate for themselves. They're not leadership material. I remember when that reporter told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. That's basically what they're telling these women.
Hey, solopreneurs. Are you ready to turn your one-person business into a thriving empire? Welcome to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast with Anthony Porter. Each week, we're bringing you practical tips, real-life stories, and step-by-step frameworks to grow your income, build your brand, and find balance in your business. New episodes drop every Monday at 6 a.m. The perfect way to start your week strong. If you love what you hear, make sure to subscribe, share the podcast with your network, and leave us a review. Your support helps us reach more solopreneurs just like you. Let's grow together.
Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. And if this is your first time here, buckle up, man. Buckle up. This is where we go from the block to the boardroom, where we talk about building real income and real influence without the fluff. We ain't doing none of that BS. We ain't out here shucking and jiving and doing none of that craziness. We not them fake gurus, so we're not going to do it like the gurus, the fake gurus. I'm not saying everybody's fake, but we're not talking about doing something that just make us look like we out here just all willy-nilly. We give you straight game. Today, we're going to talk about something that has been on my mind heavy, real heavy lately. And that's the massive shift happening right now where the women, especially sisters, especially the young introverts, black and white, they have told or was told in society that they made it, right? But these sisters, these young women, our women, I love the sisters. I love everybody, but we got to talk about the women race as a whole. They're walking away from these corporate America jobs and building a freedom first business. Understand what I just said. They're walking away from the corner office, the 7-figure salaries, 6-figure at minimum. They saying, man, we out of here. We're going to do us. And see, I'm not talking about getting on her with the Instagram fantasy version where everybody, they sipping mimosas on the beach. It's the real version. The one with the late nights and tough decisions. That's the one we talking about. Uncertainty, but also the one with ownership, autonomy, and the ability to build wealth on your terms. So whether you already been building, you thinking about getting into it, you really thinking about it, right? You sitting there, you got this idea. You're pondering the idea of, I'm going to get started. Or you just feeling stuck in a system that doesn't value you the way you deserve. This episode is definitely for you. So we're going to tap into it and we're going to break down why this shift is happening right now. Why these women figured it out that most people miss. The 3 pillars of freedom first business. And most importantly, how you can start building yours, even if you're still working a 9-to-5 right now. Now, before we jump into this, quick reminder, if you're serious about, turning your knowledge, your story, your expertise into a real business, well, you got to grab that Solopreneur playbook. Better yet, you're going to need to join the new community, the Solopreneur Network. It's free to get into. It gets you exactly where you need to be. It gets you the exact framework I used to grow not only my podcast from the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast, but the Solopreneur Network. The Solo Empire Network, and how I get most of the people into the new community. And we're switching over from Go High Level to ClickFunnels and school. So buckle up, man. Let's jump into it. We're going to take some notes. We're going to get into this, and we're going to make sure everybody's really situated. All right. So let's get down to it. Let's rock out. Y'all ready to rock out? I'm ready to rock out, man. I feel good. I'm loving this episode. When I started researching this episode, I was like, yeah, we need to tap into this lot. So first, let's look at something. Let's look at it and let's talk about why this is happening. And what we're talking about is corporate betrayal. Why the dream job has become the most evident nightmare. So you gotta really dig deep into what's going on. So I was talking to some young ladies the other day, and they was talking about the company that they work for. Now, most of them been at this company for a little over 2 or 3 years, but there's several that have been there over 10, maybe 12. One of them was the senior VP. Well, one of them was the VP of marketing, making about $180K a year. Now, that's on paper. We're not talking about anything else. That's just on paper. She won. She's killing it. That's 6 figures. That's what they call securing the bag. Okay. And then most of the women in today's era, that's what they're doing. They securing the bag. When you see them, they walk with a purpose. They carry themselves with a purpose. They want the lifestyle, to travel, to have that luxury look, that persona, that swag. This is what they do. This is what their dream has been. This is how they was taught in life. Like, hey, we was taught to get that job, but we also learned how to secure the bag, right? But here's what nobody saw. In order for her to get that bag, she had to sacrifice a lot. She was on calls until 9 p.m. That's just most nights. She was saying that she had a daughter missing the school plays. And a lot of the young ladies who was talking about they had kids was missing certain situations in life, like they was asking their parents to step up because they was trying to secure this bag, the lifestyle. They was having, them anxieties attacks and panic attacks. Like they was really panicking every Sunday night, because after so many years of loyalty, they restricted her and her role got absorbed. Can you imagine? Just like that, you've been doing this, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes in and they want to change things. And so what this young lady said to me was that it hit her. I gave them my best years. They gave me a severance check and a LinkedIn recommendation. So after 12 years of building up somebody else's company, after 12 years of doing what she felt like was the right thing, the conversation, restrictions, restructures, the road disappears, severance check, the meeting was had, and we're going in a different direction. Just like that. And when she sat there at the table and they was all sitting there chopping it up, she said, I gave them my best years. And they gave me a severance package check and a LinkedIn recommendation. But what's crazy is this is the same story that I'm hearing over and over and over and over again. No matter if I'm sitting at the table or I'm watching it on the news, every single day is something about what people, especially these particular people, these women, are going through. See, the corporate game has changed. The deal used to be, you give me loyalty, you get security. But nowadays, that deal's dead. Companies are running lean. Like they'll trim the fat in a heartbeat. They'll want you to be more 3, 4, 5, 6 job person versus them being or having the people to come in because they figure out how they can cut the costs. See, they're hiring contractors. That's what they're doing. They're hiring these contractors. They're cutting the benefits, man. See, what we fail to realize is the benefits was the reason why a lot of these companies started doing this. See, they're expecting you to be passionate about quarterly earnings that you would never see. And see, especially my black and brown sisters, these women are seeing it first. Now, it's not saying that every woman is not seeing it, because if you're not paying attention, it's expanded to all. See, most of these women are watching themselves get overlooked for promotions, or they're watching less qualified people move up. And then some of these companies have the audacity to say, I want you to work under this person. Wait a minute. I got more experience. I know the job like the back of my hand, but you want me to help train the person who's supposed to show me how to go into the future. They're doing the work of 3 people, but only getting paid for 1. Now, it's not just women, but the women's numbers have shown. These are the numbers that have been recorded. See, again, I don't want nobody to sit back and say, well, he's focusing on the black and the brown. No, it started with them, but nowadays it's majority of the women. It's like we're going back into the days where everybody just looked at it and was like, listen, James Brown had that song, This Is a Man's World, right? Then we started as a culture and as a presence, we started getting into the fact that we really start listening to that. See, these women are being told they're too aggressive when they advocate for themselves. So basically what you're telling these women these days in the corporate world, they shouldn't speak up for themselves. That's funny to me, man. They're being told they can't advocate for themselves. They're not leadership material. I remember when that reporter told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. That's basically what they're telling these women. So I'm saying, well, why are you going so hard for the women? Why not? Why not? The women can do the work we can do. They might not be able to do the steel jobs. There's some that can. They might do the jobs that we don't want to do. So I had to start asking different questions because it was almost like the pandemic had hit and it just accelerated whatever was already happening. Women got to taste the flexibility of being home, of controlling their schedules. See, I'm going to say this because, see, corporate America has not realized every soldier needs a female soldier to stand next to him, not behind him, but next to him. But these women realize, see, COVID, actually, man, let me tell y'all something. COVID was actually a great deal for the women because they realized, wait, I don't have to live like this. I don't have to struggle. I can sit here and see COVID started making millionaires for the young women, the young ladies, the older women. See, COVID had everybody pinned in, and it started showing corporate America. We don't need y'all. Y'all need us. So I had to start asking the different questions. Like, now, how do I climb that ladder? But why am I on this ladder in the first place? And that question right there, that's the one that has changed everything. All right. So now that we've painted that picture, let's talk about the freedom first shift, because this is the second point that we need to talk about. Now, here's what these women figured out that I needed to hear. Freedom isn't about escaping work. It's about owning your work. Let me say that again. And I'm going to say it very loud for the people who's chilling in the back. I'm going to say it very loud for the people who want to turn their nose up to women in general. I'm going to say it very loud to the people, the 1% that's sitting around right now in certain places, making decisions, trying to run a country. I'm going to say it loud for those people over on that other side. It's not about escaping work. It's about owning it. Because here's the thing. Here's what nobody's talking about. When you build your freedom first business, you're not trying to replace your 9-to-5 with a 24/7 version. You're not trying to swap bosses. You're trying to build something different from the ground up. And it's all about 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is time. That means you decide when you work. Not because you're lazy, because you're strategic. See, for me, it started when I started to realize that, as a podcaster, I was able to record my own episodes. But then when I started coaching, I was able to take clients on Wednesdays and give them group coaching, right? And then the rest of the week, doing what I got to do. I'm either prepping for my business, starting another business. Shout out to Snapcracker Gourmet Popcorn, the best gourmet popcorn south of North. I'm just messing with y'all, but no, shout out to Snapcracker Gourmet Popcorn. I started wanting to live, right? So I followed the model of when I started paying attention when the pandemic hit. And guess what? I learned that there was 6 to 7 figures that could be made a year. And all I had to do was put in 3 days versus working 40 hours and struggling with possibly having to stay over. How? Because I built my business around my life. I built my business around something I was passionate about. It was getting on the microphone and talking. And that's what most of these women had started doing during the pandemic. You had women out here who was building businesses based off the knowledge they knew, the experiences they dealt with, and people that they have been around. So when I niched it down to say that I wanted to do a podcast for solopreneurs, those are the 1-person business owners in the world, that's what I did. See, everybody can say they took and started a business, but did you start the business for what reason? Who are you serving? And that led me into pillar number 2 because it became income control. See, in corporate, you hit a ceiling. You only make what they decide you're worth. They could come back and hit you with some BS taxes, and then all of a sudden, here it is, the holidays is rolling up, and you busted. Even if you bring in millions of dollars for that company, you still hitting the ceiling. You get a little salary or maybe a bonus if they're feeling generous. But in your freedom first business, your income is tied to your value, your work ethic, not some arbitrary pay scale or someone else's budget meet. See, I know women who was making $75K as a corporate trainer, who left that trainer's job, started doing the exact same work as a consultant. Y'all ready for this? Let me position myself. Took the skills that she had harnessed and started clearing 200K with those same skills, those same expertise, but with a different structure. It's called income control. Working maybe 2 or 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So can you imagine you can go on vacation on a Friday, leave out on a Friday morning. You, your loved ones, husbands, boyfriend, kids, mom, pop, it don't make no difference. Brothers, sisters, cousins. If you got the bread and you want to take these folks, you can leave on a Friday, come back on a Monday afternoon, go back to work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Make the money back that you've already spent. Now, can you imagine if the first 6 months you just stacking your bread? That's almost 180K. No, I take that back. 6 months, 200,000. That's 7 figures. And what I mean by 7 figures is because over time, if this person is stacking money and not spending, you make it 200K a year. So can you imagine the money that you're making for those 3 days? So what you're making at 75K as a corporate person, that 75K is 3 days, not a year. It's 3 days each month, each week. Different structure, man. Now, this is the big one for me. This was called purpose alignment. Most people spend 40 hours a week building someone else's dream, making money for someone else's vision, and then wonder why they feel empty. Women were feeling this, but wasn't saying much about it. That's when they realized I can use the same energy to build something that actually matters to me. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're listening to this podcast, this is not just about women. I'm giving you what the women have went through, but if you pay attention, I paid attention to a friend of mine and what she went through. And then as I paid more and dug deep and did more research, I said, that's me. So I reinvented my podcast. I went back and I realized I need to get more in depth with what's going on. So maybe it's something that you could do, like you women coaching other women, men coaching young men to be better entrepreneurs. Maybe it's you creating digital products. Maybe you're doing some consulting work. Maybe it's what I'm doing is podcasting and building a community. Whatever it is, it's theirs. And it aligns with their values, their purpose, and their legacy. And all you're building and y'all, when you're building something that actually you believe in, the work doesn't feel like the same thing. It's still work, but it's not as hard. It's yours. So it doesn't feel like it's hard. You have to understand when you're putting in that work and it's something that you feel like you're building, it doesn't feel like work. It's called purpose alignment. Now, these 3 pillars, time autonomy, income control, and purpose alignment, that's what the Freedom First business looks like. Now, here's the reality check. It's not all sunshine. See, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Building your Freedom First business is not easy. And anyone would tell you this. And if they don't, they string you along. The first year is going to be the test for you. You're going to have imposter syndrome. You're going to have the slow months. You're going to wonder if you made the mistake. And I did it. When I started this, man, I done gave up a lot to do this. Still working my 9 to 5, but is this right? I had those moments, months in and months out. I'm second guessing myself. Did I screw up? Did I mess up? Should I just go back to doing what I know best? But then I was like, I'm good. This is a safe path for me because I'm putting all of me into this. And then it started to feel like I'm working hard over here, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm just chilling. But what I learned was my whole life I've been building for someone else. And now it's time for me to build for me. The real risk is, do I really want to continue to wake up tired every morning, walk in frustrated, walk in with an attitude, or do I want to just bet on myself? So yeah, it was hard when I started to walk away from the things that was comfortable to me and I started building the podcast. It was hard when I walked away from the things that was comfortable to me and I started building the Solo Empire Network, the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast, the Legacy Network Builders. It was very hard. But what I realized was, this me, this my dream. I'm building this. Nobody else. I got time left. I'm going to continue to do what I need to do. See what I'm saying? I'm not saying quit your job. What I'm saying is start building while you're there. Hone in on the skills that you have and use those skills. Women figure that out. You want me to work for this person? They have less knowledge and less skill. See, I'm that person who would let them know. What you want me to do? That ain't gonna work. Now they mad and they leave and I finish the job. Job's perfect. No problem. Then I got to have a meeting. Can you stop messing with people? No, I'm not. And that's how the women will feel. Same way I'm feeling. And most women are doing that. When you back a woman, it doesn't make a difference what race they are. Black, brown, white, Asian. It doesn't make a difference. European, it doesn't make a difference. Back one into a corner and see if they don't come out swinging. Some of us are programmed to continue to go in here and let somebody talk crazy to you. I'm a grown man. And they felt like they was grown women. They start small. They test things. They get their first few clients. They build their audience. They create their system. So then what they do is they use a tactical playbook. And they're like, people are like, I'm sold. But how? What do I actually do? Let me give you what the game is. Step one, you identify your leverage. What do people or what do you already know how to do? Use what you know and do what you need to do. Turn your skills into your asset, all right? Step number two, start with service. Don't build a course first. Don't build a membership site first. Don't build a whole app. Start with a service, one-on-one, done for you, coaching or consulting. Step three, build your audience engine. Pick one platform. Focus on that platform. Mine's podcasting. But then I repurpose to other avenues. Focus on the one platform. And this is my advice to you because somebody figured this out. Step number four, build the simple funnel. You don't need to just be difficult. You need a way to capture leads, period. That means content, lead magnet, email, offer. That's it. That's the funnel. There's nothing else. You don't need 27,000 pages, man. You need content. Either you shooting YouTube videos or you're making a podcast. You need a lead magnet. You need an email list. You got to have an offer that is killer. Dr. Marquell Russell has a Godfather offer. Why is it a Godfather offer, you ask? Remember, if you ever watch mafia movies like The Sopranos, The Godfather, Goodfellas, you wasn't saying no to the Godfather. That offer is something that you can't say no to. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to work. Give something away from free. You just want to get people on your list. The money is in the list. And then you got to learn how to sell without being salesy. Man, have a conversation, man. Just have a conversation. Don't just come out talking about this. Man, you sit there, chop it up, have a drink, go to dinner, talk about some things. In between you talking, drop some hints, leave it at that. I guarantee you when you drop them hints, they're going to come back. Hey, what was that you was talking about? See, you don't want to manipulate people. You just want to get them in and be like, hey, listen, this is what we do. This is what this is about. And then you want to have a mic drop moment. That's your permission slip. See, when you're talking, hey, listen, I'm not going to hold you, but this is my offer. This is what I want to offer. Now, with your permission, can I speak to you? They give you permission, mic drop, you got the permission slip. You just ask. It's all about how you position yourself. They'll decide whether they want to hear it or not. You can't be pushy. All right. So I'm asking you, what are you waiting for? Because the world doesn't need another employee. They need some owners. We have to start showing the people. Listen, one of my mentors, when I make money, I invest my money. So one of my mentors, the Wall Street Trapper, says, Wall Street doesn't like it because Wall Street's starting to look like us. Corporate world is starting to look like us too. The ones who don't want to put on the suits, the ones who don't want to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, the ones who want to work from home and make millions of dollars, travel the world, have the fancy cars, live in the dream homes. That's what the world is starting to look like. And the women have been leading this charge for a while. So you have to understand that blueprint is laid out for you. And it's laid out by some of the top influencers, some of the top business women in the world today. Look at Oprah. People don't like Oprah. Why? Because she got money. I got a question for y'all. Why is it every time somebody get money, we expect them to give us money? We got to get our own money. All right? Now, I'm ready. I want you to do the same thing. You got the roadmap. You want to see the Solopreneur playbook? Join the free community, man. I'm going to leave you a link in the description. We're going to get things cracking. You feel me? That's all we got to do, man. We got to build together. Just join. That playbook will be a lifesaver for you. All right? It's completely free. It's going to be in the resource tab, and we're going to get it in there. Like I said, we're moving things over. So it's been rough because we had a CRM that we was in love with over here at the Solo Empire Network, and then all of a sudden we fell out of love with them. So make sure you grab that book, and I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, man. Again, shout out to the women of the work world today. Y'all laid down a blueprint. We needed to follow it. All right, it's your man's Solopreneur Chronicles podcast, Mr. Anthony Porter, your host with the most. We out of here. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools, and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.